everybody, and welcome to my channel, Everyday with Jackie. If this is your first time here, welcome. I hope you'll stay. Go ahead and pause the video and click that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. That way you're aware each and every time I upload a video. And for those of you that are returning to the channel, it's good to see you as always. Today's video, I thought we would continue on with showcasing the items in my collection. So if you want to see what's up next, you'll have to keep watching. Okay, so for today's video, we are going to be showing my concealers. So that's the next thing in my collection that I wanted to showcase for you today. And because I don't have very many concealers, I thought we would do concealers as well as eyeshadow primers. I thought we would put both of those in the mix, and that way we can go ahead and knock that category out as well, because I don't have very many of those either. But my beauty space is in such chaos right now. I have stuff everywhere. So who knows? I mean, I may start on another category and find stuff that I should have already showed you guys. If so, I'll just throw it in the mix, because that space right now is a hot mess. Okay, so we're gonna do concealers first, and then we'll go to eyeshadow primers. We're also gonna throw in color correctors as well. So first up, let's do color correctors. And I think I've already shown you guys, but I do have 3 color correctors, and they're all 3 by BH Cosmetics. So this is my BH Studio Pro Total Coverage Concealer Corrector, and it's in the shade Peach Corrector. And this corrector really leans more on the orange side rather than the peach. But again, I do have 3 of these, and I got these from BH Cosmetics. And it looks like this one is the one I've been using, and hopefully I'm not going to really be swatching in this video, but this is what the peach corrector looks like. And like I said, it's really orange. Hope you guys can see. And I've had these for a long time. Don't normally use them very often, but once in a while, if I have a lot of time and I'm trying to do the most, I will take it out and use them. So next up, let's just go to our concealers. So one concealer I have in a mini, and it is by NARS, and this is in the shade Medium Dark 3 Amande. Doesn't say anything else, but I think this is their Creamy Radiant Concealer. And again, this is in Medium Dark 3 Amande, and this is by NARS. And this is the sample size of it. Now, I do like this concealer, but the thing with this concealer is, to me, and my needs are changing as far as concealers go. You remember, if you've been with me for a while, you remember how I used to do concealer just right here. I would not bring my concealer down, do any of that. But I am starting to do that a little bit, because I feel like right in this area that, I don't know what I would say. It's just I have a little bit, not really discoloration. It just looks like my skin is a little thin, and I'm just seeing a little bit more darkness or something in that spot. Honey, these 58-year-old eyes are starting to show signs of wear and tear. So I'm just noticing some things. So I'm starting to bring my concealer down just a little bit more than I used to. But I noticed with this concealer that when I put it on, to get the most out of it, that I prefer to let it sit. I just let it sit for a while, and then I will start blending it out. So it doesn't really have the opacity that I like, but it works well if you put it on and you let it sit for a while before you go ahead and blend it out. So this is what the shade Amande looks like on my skin tone. So this is Amande by NARS. Now, my next concealer is by Maybelline, and it is the Instant Age Rewind Eraser, and it says it's a multi-use concealer, and I have the shade 146 Tan. And this is the concealer right here, and as you can see, I have been using this up quite a bit. We're right about here, and comes with the little sponge. I know some people don't like that because they don't think it's hygienic, but I don't really mind it that much. This is what the shade Tan looks like, and this is a good shade for me. I like it. It's a little bit brighter than what I typically go for, but I am starting to brighten up the eye area just a little bit. Not bright, but I am trying to brighten it up just a little bit. And again, this is 146 Tan by Maybelline. Next, I have a concealer by Morphe. Haven't picked this up in a while. And this is in the shade C4-45. And I do remember that this is a neutral concealer because I do have neutral undertones. I haven't used this in a bit. From what I recall, I do like the concealer. I think this is a full coverage concealer. I haven't used this in a minute, you guys. From what I recall, it doesn't really accentuate the lines or anything. Like I said, it is full coverage, but I don't feel like it's really so drying underneath my eyes. I don't feel like any of these that I have in my collection feel really dry underneath my eyes. So this one is, like I said, a full coverage. It doesn't make my eyes look aging. It's not really drying underneath the eyes. It doesn't really accentuate my fine lines underneath my eyes. So I think when I put my setting powder on, everything looks fine. So this I do really like as a concealer. I just haven't used it in a bit. But again, this is the shade right here. And this is by Morphe. And here is another concealer that I haven't used in a whole minute. Y'all, I will get on a horse and I will ride that horse to death and forsake everything else. So this is another concealer that I remember enjoying. This is by Laura Mercier, and this is the Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Concealer. And this is in the shade N9. That's neutral. The N is for neutral. And this is what the concealer looks like. And let me give you a quick little swatch. And here's the swatch of this concealer. All of them kind of have around the same tone. This one looks a little bit, to me, I can't tell, but this one looks a little bit deeper than the Maybelline. And this one right here looks really neutral. And that was the NARS. No, this is the Maybelline up here. So this one was, oh, this one was the Morphe. And then this one is the NARS, and here's the Maybelline. So again, I love this. Now, this one is definitely not a matte. This is more of a radiant concealer. And along the time when I picked this up and the NARS, that's what I was starting to look for in my concealers. I didn't want something really drying or something really matte because I was under the impression that it would just look cakey, accentuate texture, lines, everything. So I started gravitating to, I didn't want such a matte look underneath my eyes. So I started gravitating to wanting a more radiant, more luminous concealer. So that's when I started picking up the NARS and the Laura Mercier. Next has been a concealer that I've had in my purse. I've been taking this to work with me in the mornings, and I haven't been wearing foundation, but instead I will use this concealer and I will put it right along where I have the raised moles on my face and a little hyperpigmentation. I'll even drag it up underneath my eyes as a concealer. Right now, this is not the shade that I really like for an under eye concealer. These days, I'm preferring something a little bit brighter, but like I said, I've been enjoying just taking it to school, using it in that manner. Let me tell you though, first, let me show you what I'm talking about. And that concealer is the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. And you can see I have been taking this with me and enjoying it. And this is in the shade Rich Tan 6-5. And this is the old ColourPop before they renumbered the shades. So this is what it looks like. And really, I think I'm about to hear in this concealer. Let me give you a swatch. Again, I don't prefer this shade as a concealer, under eye concealer anymore. At first, when I first picked it up, I did, but not really so much anymore. Again, I'm looking for something a little bit lighter. This is just not the shade that I prefer, or really the formula as much. I've also used it on top of my lids. And one day when I put this on my eyelids, I was like, oh, I don't have anything to set. So one day I just used this and then I put my eyeshadow on. So I went in and just put my eyeshadow on top of the concealer. And when I tell you, when I got home, my eyeshadow was a hot mess. I guess because I didn't have anything to set this primer, this concealer with. I mean, this eyeshadow had slid all over the place. It was creased up. Half of it had worn away. I was just like, oh, this is just a hot mess. So the next day, I made sure to take a brush so I could put my Milani powder on top of my lids and kind of set it down that way. And it worked a little bit better, but I mean, this does a wonderful job as a primer in terms of muting out discoloration and everything. But I really don't like to use it as an eyeshadow primer. But if you don't have anything else, it does work to hide the discoloration on your eyes beautifully. If you, just as long as you set it with powder, I think you'll be okay. But don't think about putting it on your lids and you don't have any powder to set it, because when you get home or even throughout the day, you will notice your eyeshadow is starting to look a mess. At least that's how it happened for me. So again, when I use this up, I'm probably not going to buy this again because I have found other concealers that I like better. But again, this is something that I really like to spot conceal with. It works perfectly for that. I have gone in, like I said, and used it on my under eyes. Works fine for that. I just don't really like the shade now for an under eye concealer. So again, this is ColourPop and this is the shade Rich Tan. Next up, I have a concealer by Uoma Beauty. And this is the Stay Woke Concealer. And this is what it looks like. And I will go ahead and swatch it for you. This does have the big doe foot. And I think this is the lightest concealer that I have. So I go in with this lightly. And this is in the shade Brown Sugar T2. Now this concealer is definitely full coverage. And it is a good concealer for concealing darkness, or if you have discoloration under your eyes, this works perfectly for this. I think this, of course, is a full coverage concealer, but again, as far as making your eyes look dry or feeling drying underneath the eyes, I don't get that from this concealer, but it is full coverage. It's gonna cover everything, girl. So I like this concealer a lot. The shade may just be a little bit light, but I don't think, you know, once I put powder and put everything else on my face, I don't think it looks too light. And again, I am starting to bring my concealer out a little bit more, but I don't do it heavily. So this wears good on my under eyes. This is, again, full coverage. So if that's what you're looking for, you can't go wrong with this. And again, it just doesn't emphasize your fine lines, wrinkles. It just covers up, you know, if you have discoloration underneath your eyes. So this was a great find. Again, Uoma Beauty is sold either on the Uoma Beauty website or you can pick it up at Ulta. And this is where I got this one from. Next, I bought this concealer and I'm almost on the fence. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this concealer. It's definitely the wrong shade. So this is the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. And it says it has super coverage. And here it is right here. I have used it because this is definitely the wrong shade. I have tried to use it as a contour. Really wasn't a fan of it that way, but I've been trying to make it work. Let me swatch it for you. Here it is right here. So this is definitely the wrong shade. I've been looking, I think butterscotch might be a better fit for me, but this is definitely the wrong shade. So I used this underneath my under eyes today, just trying to do something. I used it to spot conceal, and then I went on top of it with the ColourPop. I think I'm resigned that I'm going to give this to my niece. She's a little darker than me. This is going to be too dark for her to use as a concealer, but she may want to use it to spot conceal on her complexion. So I think that's what I'm going to do with this. I don't think I'm going to try to make this work any longer. Again, I think I'm just going to pass this along to my niece and be done with that. And then I have one more concealer, which is by Hourglass. And this is a concealer that's new to me. I have not even used this yet. This is in the shade Maple. And it says that this is called Hourglass Vanish. Haven't even used it yet. I do like the doe foot on here. It kind of comes to a little point. I have so, y'all know I hauled all that stuff and haven't even used it yet. Y'all don't have to say anything, I know. I've heard so much about this concealer and I really want to use it so badly, but if I don't hurry up and do a video, I'm just gonna break it open. So here is the shade Maple right here. It's kind of in the same family as the Uoma Beauty. Looks really pretty. But again, I've heard such great things about the Hourglass concealer. Just haven't touched it yet. So I'll be bringing you this in a video really soon. Fingers crossed. But again, this is by Hourglass. And this is what the shade looks like right here. Love it. So I can't wait to really use this concealer and see how it wears. Okay, so those are, no, hold on. Still got two more. So the first, my last two are by McGrath. And I got two different shades. One shade is MD22, which is this shade right here. And then, yes, I still have the packaging. Then I also have, I have MD24 and MD22. So you can kind of see that they look a little differently. I brought this, which was the same shade as my foundation. So I thought maybe I wanted to pick up a little bit more brighter concealer for underneath my eyes. And if I need to, I can use this as a spot concealer. So then I brought MD22 and this is MD24. And we'll swatch these next to each other. Haven't used these yet either, guys, other than swatching. So the first one is MD22. And that's the swatch right here. And then here is MD24. So again, if I want a little brightness, that's why I picked up the MD22. And I just think that these concealers are gonna do me well. So I do have both of these and I can't wait to try the formula, see what it looks like. The containers are glass containers. So I try to be careful with these because y'all know I can be a little clumsy. But I have both of those by McGrath Labs. And now those are all the concealers that I have. So let's quickly jump into my eyeshadow primers. And the first one up is by MAC. And you guys have seen me use this quite frequently. This is my MAC paint pot. And this is in the shade Painterly. Had this for a whole minute. Can't say I'm making progress, but I'm trying. So this just makes my eyelids look opaque before I go in with the eyeshadow primer. And I do like to go in and set this. Next time I get it, I think I may probably pick up a different shade. They have several different shades, but when they were having a sale on this product, all the shades were sold out. So I went ahead and settled for this, which I'm not mad at it. This is a good shade, but I think I might want to get something a little bit closer to skin tone. But again, this is by MAC. I picked this up on the Ulta website. Now I have a eyeshadow primer by Fenty Beauty. It's their Pro Filter Amplifying Eye Primer, and this is in the shade Ibiza Pink. I picked this up, didn't like it initially because when I put my eyeshadow on top of this primer, I felt like the eyeshadow wasn't blending smoothly, that it was kind of tugging, and it could have been just the powder that I had on, because as I continue to use it, I didn't have that experience. So initially, the first time or two that I used it, I was not a happy camper with it, but as you continue to do looks, you use different powders and stuff, and I found that different powders, it did perform better. So this went from a didn't care for so much to a great product for me. So I am happy that I have this concealer now, this eyeshadow primer, I'm sorry. And again, this is in Ibiza Pink. This is what the wand looks like on here. And again, this is by Fenty Beauty. Is their Pro Filt'r eyeshadow amplifying eye primer. Now I have this eyeshadow primer by Milani. It's called Milani Eyeshadow Primer. And I'm not mad at this one. This is in the shade Nude, and it really goes on invisible kind of on your lids. Let's see if I can squeeze out some. Well, no, it doesn't go on invisible. I guess it's right when it says Nude. This is what it looks like right here. But you can put it on and blend it out. And it's really a smooth primer. Even when I'm just doing that spot, it just feels so smooth on your eyelids. So this is a smoothing primer, eyeshadow primer, and then I typically will go in and set it as well. I typically do that with all my eyeshadow primers. And let me just show you what the Fenty one looks like since I swatched the other one. And again, this is in the shade Ibiza Pink. And this is the one by Fenty. And just blend it in. And this as well is very smooth on your lids. And it's almost invisible. You can see a hint of pink right here, but it feels very smooth. And so it's still, to me, even though it blends out seamlessly, like you don't see the color, I feel like it does do a good job at blurring your eyelids out. So no complaint about that. My next two are by Urban Decay. I have the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion, and this is in the anti-aging formula. And then I just have the original formula. So I have both of these. This anti-aging one, I had one, lost it, so I brought another one. And then the original right here. So this is the original wand that looks like this is almost dry. It's like hardly anything coming out. So I probably might need to almost toss this out. You can hardly see anything coming out right here. And all of these feel really smooth when you try to blend them out. And then I have the anti-aging one. Like I said, this one is more new. And it blends out and just feels so velvety. So both of these are by Urban Decay. Looks like the original formula is just about done. But again, I have original and anti-aging. And then for my last, almost last, let's go with this one. I also have the eyeshadow primer or eye primer by Anastasia Beverly Hills. Now, a lot of people don't like this primer, and I may be one of them. I haven't gotten it to work for me as for the reason that I bought it, which was to cut creases. But I don't know, I haven't really used it all that much, but a little bit of Dewy, but I don't really like that. It's so... I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna try it again. Y'all know I give stuff second, third, fourth chances, but this is just so white. So white on the skin, but a little bit of Dewy. But I can't really say one way or the other how I feel about the performance of it, because I have put this on, haven't liked the look that I've done, so I really haven't noticed the formula so much. But I will try it again and then make sure to take note of how I like the formula. But again, just a little drop will do you. So I don't know. Really, this one, the jury's still out on. I wouldn't miss it if I didn't have it. But since I do, I'm going to try to use it and really form an opinion. But if I had to buy this one all over again, probably would not. And my last one is my NYX Glitter Primer. And this is just, you know, base if you're putting glittery shallows on. It just helps the glitter adhere to the primer so it's not falling out all over your face. And this is what the primer looks like. And I'll just put this one right here. It's kind of sticky, which is kind of what you want, or kind of tacky, which is what you want, because again, you want the glitter to adhere to it. And you just will go in and blend it out, pat it in, blend it out. And like I said, it stays kind of tacky, but you don't really see it, but it does feel sticky. I don't even know if you can see that, but it does feel sticky, and the glitter will just adhere to the primer and stay on and look really nice. I have used this a few times, and I was very happy with the results from this. Okay, so guys, that's it. Hopefully I have shown you everything. Like I said, my beauty space is a hot mess now, so if I did leave out something or find it later, I'll just throw it in with another video. But that completes the video that we have today. So if you enjoyed today's video, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and ring the notification bell. That way you're aware each and every time I upload a video, and share the channel because you know I don't mind. Lastly, please know that you're always welcomed and wanted here on my channel. And with that said, thank you so much for tuning in to another video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody, and see you real soon. Bye.